chat, and I'll count down to when that happens. So let's go through these opening things.
Can we get some hype for Spyro in the chat here? In the room? On the Twitch, on the Discord? Nice.
All right, so when we fade in from this, time starts. The adventure begins. 3, 2, 1, go.
GL. So, throughout this run, Stump is going to be collecting 14,000 gems that are going to be scattered throughout the level, 80 dragons, and hopefully, if everything goes well, 12 eggs.
Yes.
Sometimes we miss 1 or 2, but we're going to have to get them all here.
That's all I can tell you.
And this dragon conversation is the only one that we're going to see in full because it is unskippable.
So we're just going to hop into a flight here very quickly. Now, if you played this casually as a kid, maybe you didn't know about these stones. You don't actually learn about them until there's a dragon like halfway through the game that tells you, oh, try jumping on the stones and artisans. But we're gamers here, right? We know how to do this. So we're just going to go right into this.
And each of these has 4 sets of 8 targets that I need to hit all in one go to get all of the gems out of this level. And depending on how you move the camera when you're doing those other things, the planes are affected.
Ooh, but very, very clean planes here. So many runs die in Sunny Flight.
Yes.
Already like a minute in, and if those planes don't line up, you just want to reset. But we got through it. We got through it.
And now we just have this sequence of arches and then a whole bunch of chests, and then we are on to other levels.
Maybe if you played these fights as a kid, you had a little bit of trouble with these. I know I did.
I did too.
Look up in the corner on the right-hand side. We've saved up almost a minute at this point of free time that we could go through the level. So maybe we miss one of these boxes like that. It's all fine. We have enough time to make it through the flight.
And what I did there was I made sure there was something in front of Spyro when I hit the final target. When Spyro hits something, there's an animation where Spyro flies up into the sky. But if Spyro hits something, that ends early, and so it's faster.
First of our skippable dragons. Don't let him get a chance to talk.
Yep. 1 unskippable dragon and 79 skippable ones. Well, for dialogue anyway.
Hopefully we're not skipping any for other purposes, right?
Right. So here's our first real level. We're going to do this little side path here to grab the key.
Oh, he roared at us. I don't know, can we beat him? I guess we can.
Whether the enemy there growls is random, so that was bad RNG.
So you may notice this little dragonfly flying Spyro around. He's named Sparks. He's quite cute. And he has 3 different colors, and then 1 non-color, I guess. He's yellow when he's at full health. He's blue when he's at 1 tick of damage. He's green when he's at 2, and he disappears when he's at that final tick of damage. And he protects Spyro. But he also does this thing that speedrunners really make a lot of use of. He picks up gems that are sort of near Spyro, so Spyro doesn't need to collect all the gems. But unfortunately, if Sparks disappears, if you take too many hits of damage, Spyro has to collect all the gems manually. He has to touch every single one of them. Sparks won't pick them up. So it's to Stump's benefit to not take damage, as you might expect.
Here we're doing a little wall glide. Gliding against a steeply angled wall can give you a little bit of extra height that will let you make things you otherwise can't.
just gonna clean up this level here and pop in this vortex at the end. So this category, the 120% category, is getting everything. All those things I mentioned at the start. There are a few other categories in the speed game. There's any percent, which is just do it as fast as possible. There's cheat percent, which is do it as fast as possible, but you have a cheat that opens all levels so you can ignore everything. And there's a somewhat new one called Vortex percent. Became popular 2 years ago, maybe, 3 years ago, where you use that unlock everything level cheat, and you then ignore all the items, all the collectibles, and just run through the levels as fast as possible, jump in those vortices, I guess, like we just did.
That's a fun one.
Really is.
There was just an interesting task of it posted.
Oh yeah, there was. All right. We're headed into our first boss level already. What, we're like 5 minutes in and we're already a boss. Wow. This boss is probably one of the hardest enemies in the game. He takes 3 hits to kill. Most other enemies you're seeing take 1, maybe 2, like this dog here. But the boss that we're going to come up to is going to take 3. It's incredibly difficult. This isn't a kid's game.
That dog that was on the path, I'm going to take this angle here. That causes the dog to jump off the ledge and automatically be defeated, and I automatically get the gem.
We don't have time for you, Nevin. We're speedrun. That was the first hit on Toasty. Second hit. Wait, he's a sheep? Alright, as we go in here to the next level, we just beat the boss. There we go. Maybe now's a good time for any donations if there are any early in this run, or if not, to tell people to donate. Well, it sounds like there aren't any donations, so I'm going to tell you all to donate.
And we have a little trick coming up here. After I clear out the edge of this, we're going to abuse the tumbling animation a little bit by holding jump as we land on that, and we're still able to jump off it, even though the game really wants us to tumble down from it.
There are some polygons in this game you can just roll upward infinitely. It's quite a fun party trick. Impress your friends.
And when you're going up a hill, it's a little faster to jump and charge.
Hey, who's that ahead? Is that a dragon egg? Oh, I guess not anymore. That's the first of the dragon eggs we need to collect.
There are 12 of those in the game, all in the first 3 worlds.
Seems like they sort of dropped the
Ray
ball.
got the double kill.
Nice.
Got the flame charge on that too.
So that's a good time to talk about some of the mechanics in this game. It's a pretty simple game when you boil down to it. There's charging, you see Stump doing, when Spyro has his cute little horns going, and he hits things, they break. He flames, so he breathes fire, he can jump and he can glide. That's basically it. That's basically all there is in the game. But we can combine these things together and get some pretty interesting effects that were probably not intended by the developer. The one that Stump just did a little while ago, and maybe we'll point you out more in the run, something called a flame charge. If you flame and then charge, hence flame charge, you can convince the game into thinking that you were actually charging when you to defeat an enemy that you actually killed with the flame. And then the gem's going to home into you, so you don't have to pick up the gem and manually touch it or manually wait for sparks to get it. It's a little bit faster. It saves a few frames. But over the course of the run, if you do that, you're going to be saving quite a lot of time.
And we we just have this one little side room here remaining in the level. We'll see if I can get the one cycle through those 2 rows of chests.
Oh, nice,
That looked
nice.
like it. It wasn't.
Good job. Quick exit there. We don't need to go in the vortex. I mean, what is this, vortex percent? Tomas is definitely top 10 dragon, I think.
Definitely. Because that thief takes 3 hits. I did that first hit before going up and getting those gems.
Wait, 3 hits? Are you telling me that is as hard as Toasty? One of the hardest enemies in the game. Right there in Artisans. Alright, into town square here. In the Japanese version, this game is called Glide Town, and it's sort of meant to teach you how to glide. And you'll be seeing Stump do a few glides here, but we actually don't need to do that many, surprisingly, for a level called Glide Town. One right there.
There was our first spring chest, where you have to hit those to cause the gem to pop up in the air and then grab it. And we don't need to climb all the way up here to get over to this side area.
Just the third step will do. There's a remake of this game some of you might be familiar with called Spyro Reignited Trilogy. And the level sizes are basically the same, but the mechanics are a little bit different. So for speedrunners like us, it's actually kind of hard to get into. It takes a lot of retraining. One of the things that's very, very difficult is remembering to go all the way up those steps to glide across to get to that quick thief kill that Stump just did.
And there was our first fan chest. Those have to be flamed 3 times. And there's a projectile that comes off of them that can hit other things. We take advantage of that in some later levels.
In the next one, we'll be seeing that, so let's be sure to point that out. Actually, I guess we won't be seeing it, will we? Spoiler. Alright, just gonna clean up the Artisans homeworld here, and then we're on to the next. Hasn't even been 15 minutes.
After we're through this passage, we are completely finished the first of the 6 worlds in the game.
There we go, first level done. All right, now Peacekeepers, second homeworld of the game. Be looking out in this for the music. The music in this homeworld is amazing. The music in this game was written by a drummer from the police, the drummer from the police, I suppose, named Stuart Copeland. And it pivoted into video game music and film music from drumming on Roxanne.
Here we're about to use one of the projectiles from a fan chest.
Unfortunately, we won't see the enemy die. He's up there on that ledge. You're gonna see a pink gem appear. Just gonna be there. That was the enemy we just killed.
You could hear what happened.
you're going through this so quick. It's like you know where everything is. Nice little blind glide there. So right next to Stump here is a key. Pick that up. Nice little roll. That was the one mechanic I didn't say. It's a hidden mechanic. You have to press one of the two shoulder buttons. That's going to unlock a chest for us later, so we have to route the level in this particular way to get that key first. Nice little roll there, just for fun. Three beautiful spring chests there, huh?
That bonk was not so beautiful, though. Oh, wasn't close enough to that bird either. Those birds have weird hitboxes.
No, they do. They do.
They extend down somewhat, so in many cases I can charge past the post that they're on to defeat them. And here's our first fireworks chest. Since I only have the green sparks, I'm flaming it, but if I had more, I would actually have charged into it and taken the hit to get it open faster.
Ooh, are you gonna make this glide? Oh, easy. Easy. There's that key chest. Just gonna clean up the rest of the level here and exit out to our next one.
The reason I flamed that extra life chest but just charged past it is that you bonk on those if you hit them while charging. And at the beginning of this next level of Clifftone, oh, that is not the tent I expected that one to go into. There's a little jump at the beginning. Hopefully I'll get it.
Clifftone is a level of jumps. You're going to see this level absolutely broken if you've ever played this casually. If you're like me when you were a kid, you spent forever looking for the remaining handful of gems. So I'm just going to get them real quick here.
Ah, didn't make the jump.
Unfortunately.
We'll get those at the end instead. The bodies of those pieces of fodder really like to eat your flames.
They do. So the fodder in this game is how you heal sparks back up. That or dying, I guess. But you can kill these little cute, adorable animals running around. It's quite sad. And they release butterflies, and Sparks eats the butterfly. Also kind of sad, I guess. But that heals Sparks and brings them up to one more tick of health. Unfortunately, if you don't want to heal Sparks, then the fodder are just annoying.
Then we have a little jump trick here. Not quite.
Almost.
Up. Drifted off the edge. There we are.
There we go.
Up. Here we are. Oh, the dead light.
So none of those jumps were intended. We're just good enough at the game that we can do them.
One of the things you have to watch out for is making sure you did flame all of the pots because they have gems in them.
way for a run to die is of those 14,000 gems you need to collect, missing one.
Oh, I didn't think I heard one of those get collected.
The second easiest way for a run to die is thinking you didn't collect a gem. No, we're moving right along,
Here we'll see the bird hitboxes again.
You didn't even touch him.
And for each dragon I get, I'm actually generally trying to hit a particular angle on their platform, because Spyro needs to walk to a specific position before I can skip what happens after that, and the correct angle causes that to happen faster.
Beautiful, 400 out of 400 gems. What do you like to see? So again, next up here is the boss. Now, this boss is I think he's the best boss in the game. Maybe other minds could differ, but be on the lookout for some sunglasses, a weird-ass hairdo, and some metal sandals.
Off screen, the cannon shot hit the target painted on that rock, allowing me to go past it to the flight level after this.
Collecting all of those chests too. The angle on that's very tight.
Double spring chest for the win.
Dr. Shimp is such a great level to run. It feels like you're going so fast as you're going through it. What a soundtrack, oh, what a soundtrack.
Didn't jump quite high enough for Sparks to grab that first one on the way down. But that is something to watch out for.
Alright, now look at this guy. Look at this guy. Metal sandals. Who wears metal sandals? So what Stump's doing here is, you see the front of Stump is this metal armor, and that prevents Stump from flaming when Stump is facing him. So Stump turns around, waits for Stump to turn around and flames his backside.
By rolling over where there were multiple gems spawning, that caused Sparks to automatically grab them.
Looked like he was about to die there, didn't it? Alright, we're going to go into a flight level now. Maybe it's a good time to turn over for some donations. Run-of-the-mill flight level. Let's do some donations.
Alright, I guess I missed the loading screen there, trying to turn my laptop back on right quick. Got a couple donations already. We got $10 from Blue Shine. Give them a nice little round of applause. Anonymous, $1.42. T-Terra J, 42. 2 donations for $333. And right now, our big donation, donate to MAGFAST, may or may not be a nice little idea there. $25.
Keep those donations coming in. Alright, one more level in this world here. Ice Cavern. We're going to have to do a little bit of cleanup involving getting one of these thieves. They're meant to be annoying, but they're pretty easy.
Oh, that's not a very good lineup of those.
There are very few things in this game that are dependent on RNG. That's one of them. Alright, on to Ice Cavern. A level very much unlike the rest of the other levels in this world. The other ones we've seen are kind of deserty. This one, though, is very interesting. It's icy, hence the name. And we'll be abusing the mechanic from that. Actually, I guess it's not abusing, it's an intended mechanic. We'll be using the mechanic as the developer intended in this level to defeat some of the enemies. And we'll see that coming up here pretty shortly.
If you do that bonk just right, Sparks will grab that 10 gem, but you'll go all the way to the floor. And it's nice when that can happen.
Just a nice little optimization. Again, saves maybe a second, but over the course of a hour, 45-minute run, those can add up. Oh, hey, look, a key.
Almost missed that lamppost.
Oh no! No, actually, see, that was an intended death. That puts us at a great place here. Remember that key I just mentioned? Well, we're going to be able to get this key chest right quickly right here. Hey, there it is.
Without that death warp, we'd need to come back up this path the other way to get that key to where it needs to go.
Ooh. That guy just fell off the cliff there. So Icy Cavern is icy. And some of those big enemies that are wearing the armor, we can't flame them. And they're big, we can't charge them, they're too big for us to charge. So what we have to do is knock them off the edge. And as they fall off the edge, the gem comes back to us and we can collect their gem.
I can skip some things there because we already got them on our first pass before the death warp.
There's a technique in this game called magic stairs, and it involves just holding down, jumping and charging, and it looks really impressive.
And we got it.
Easy stairs. Easy stairs.
And what I was doing there, which I'm trying to do here, but didn't quite get, was sort of sideswiping one of the lampposts to knock the gem down without bonking on it. And normally you need 2 hits here, but with the right angle, you can have that happen, and I've never had that happen before where I get hit at the same time as that.
There are a few routes through this that inner cavern there.
Sparks is eating.
A few routes through that inner cavern there. The one Stump did is one where you go around it sort of as intended. There's another one that was made famous by a runner, Saboom, which is really fun when you pull it off, but it's a little bit more, I don't want to say tricky, risky. It's a little bit more risky. And that involves making a leap of faith across that little ledge there to the dragon. Not just once, but twice. It's just tight enough that the developers didn't intend you to get it, but if you do it just right, you can get it.
And that's 2 worlds out of 6 complete.
All right. This thief is the bane of many people's existence, even to this day. But if we just got him, quick and easy. All right. If there are any donations here, now's a good time to read them out.
Here we'll have more fan chest projectiles. That one defeated that green enemy who was magically holding that patch of grass up. I don't think I got that. No, I'll get those on the way out of Alpine Ridge.
Nice tight little charge there. So as we saw in the homeworld, the enemies in this homeworld, there were the magic crafters. They can move the terrain around. Quite revolutionary for a game at this time. The terrain is deforming, it's moving, you're colliding with it, you're rolling off of it, falling into the abyss. It's great. But if you get the cycles right, you don't need to worry about it at all. Right through.
Right between them. I don't think that's happened to me before.
Another cute thing about this homeworld is some of the enemies fight each other.
Had to avoid the attack of this one.
As soon as you make it up here, these druids run away from you shouting, "Ah! Ah!" This is a serious game.
There we go. Sometimes they don't do quite what you expect. Going over there, by gliding to the right, I got close enough to that one to put it into its scared mode, causing the platform to lower.
Alright, now, coming up here is one of the hardest thieves in the game, actually. So, there's this whole long track you have to chase him around.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough. See, see that mountainside?
Wait, where are you going? Wait, you're gonna crash into the wall. What are you
It's
doing?
not solid. What?
Unfortunately, we still have to go around the track because there are gems along the way, so... Unfortunately, it's give and take, but...
And with the proper angle, you can take damage off of that without getting knocked off and get the gem released from it faster.
Sure you get the guns.
I need to... Ooh.
Nice, very tight. Honestly, I think that one is the hardest thief in the game.
That is a tough one. And here is our first supercharge. We're going down that ramp. Gives you a more powerful charge that can open up locked chests.
You just broke a key chest without a key. What? You're flying through walls, you're breaking key chests without keys?
Well, the key's later, so it would be really inconvenient to have to come back with it.
So even though this is a hundo category, we're going to leave that key where it is to the end of time. We're not even going to see it in the run. It's hidden some way in a little tower, and we're not even going to go there. So, quick poll in the room. Anyone who played Spyro as a kid, how many of you are afraid of these spiders? Yeah, because I was. They're terrifying. But we avoided them. Quite easy, actually.
Alright, let's see if I can get this.
Nice.
Oh, I lost my supercharge there, though. If I had kept it, I could go through those fireworks chests and immediately explode them without getting hit.
That's quite a new addition to your route, too.
Yes.
We're going to clean out these caves, and we're going to come up to probably one of the most fun tricks in the run. You were meant to go through this and get a fairy supercharge power-up, but if we jump off the geometry just like so, we can hop up those stairs.
A little bit too high there.
And collect all those gems.
Ideally, I could have kept that going through these chests and out here so that I don't have to deal with these spring chests and fan chests in their full multiple step thing that's needed. And then we're gonna death warp to get back to the supercharge so that we can clear out the rest of the cave. As well as the rest of what's on this ramp here.
Nice.
And that puts us halfway through the dragons. Although the later worlds have less dragons per world.
They don't have eggs, they don't have dragons, I mean... It's almost like the best part of the game's at the beginning, huh? No, that's not true. We're going to be finding some pretty fun worlds there. Some pretty fun mechanics actually introduced here on this level. We're going to be abusing to throughout levels in a way you might not have seen before.
proper jumping, you end up never needing to use the supercharge to get over to these far-flung things. Also, there's a neg thief over there that I'm going to hit with the fan chest projectile.
Never even saw it coming.
Point blank lightning.
Into probably the best level in the game. At least that's what I think. The best level in the game. Most fun. Most fun.
This is a good one.
It is. And we're going to immediately take a turn and not do the level as intended. Actually, as we're cleaning up here, this would be a good time for any donations if there are any.
Alright, flame charge. These ones are annoying. Time for a wall glide.
You can't possibly make that glide, can you? Oh, I spoke too soon. I jinxed it, I'm sorry. Sorry, it's
No,
not that
that's
much.
only a few seconds lost because I can get to it from here, but that does save a nice amount of time. There's that one.
Alright.
Now we're at the supercharging part, where there will be some stacking of multiple supercharges here.
They're like little bowling pins. You just go through these wizards. Collect their gems, pick off a few, jump over here. Oh, did you just collect those gems through the wall?
I believe so. Sparks' collection radius is a little bit expanded when you're supercharging.
There was that tricky little thief there behind the ledge, but easy for us. Now, the next jump is going to be quite tight. Usually you need to chain two supercharges together to get a long jump. To get over to that platform, but by jumping at just the right angle, Stump was able to use only one supercharge.
I just barely made that. I needed to charge at the end of my glide to make that work. I actually didn't think I would get it because the 25 gem from that armored chest came right to me. And normally it hangs back for a few seconds before it's collected.
So if
And
you're
this egg
familiar,
thief is the last one in the game.
that's all 12 eggs.
Oh, not the triple, but I got the double still.
So if you're familiar with Spyro 2 and 3, you know you need to collect some things later on and backtrack. This is the dragon that tells you in Spyro 1, hey, you should try going back to the artisans level and try jumping on the stones. Fortunately, we knew about that ahead of time, so we don't need to backtrack.
If you have rescued that dragon, the stones will light up as you jump on them.
Alright, now this is fun. Let's see if we can get it. We're gonna,
I don't think I did.
depending on the camera angle, you can get the camera stuck on the portal itself. And as Spyro is flying through the portal, he's actually flying through space, like real space, and you can collect the dragon that was at the front of the portal. And because we're loading into a level, the dragon doesn't take any time to collect. So it's a nice little, maybe 10-second time save, collecting Bulgar before, as we're flying into the level there.
And we generally call that dragon skip. I was trying to do that turnaround move, but another one of my inputs canceled it.
Nice. Good flight.
We probably did not get dragon skip. We did not.
That's right.
My camera angle going into the portal was too close to straight on.
It's always fun when you don't get Bulgar skip, because he tells you, hey, behind me there's a flight level, and you collected him having just left the flight level. Alright.
This level has the boss of magic crafters, Blowhard. This one, whoop. The gems are very packed together, so even any percent gets almost all of them.
The bosses in this game tend to be pretty easy if you're thinking a Legend of Zelda type boss. It's nothing like that. You just have to flame them a few times. In the prototype, though, this boss in particular was programmed completely differently. Blowhard would go through and give little hats. I'm not joking. Give little hats to all the enemies in the game, and you had to flame the hats off the enemies, and then flame the enemies. And they sort of froze when the hats weren't on them. Very intricate mechanic, and quite fun to play. It's a shame they took that out. All you have to do is flame Blowhard a few times.
Another interesting thing about the bosses of the earlier worlds, although not something that is relevant to 120%, is that they're optional. They're just levels that happen to have a boss in them.
Alright. 3 out of 6. There we go, on to Peacemakers.
Here we start to get mechanics involving electricity. You have those electrified segments that go on a cycle.
So as we hop here into Terra's Village, we're going to be trying to do the first half of this level as fast as possible. I mean, speedrun, but we're going to be trying to get a good cycle later on in the level, because the second half of the level is almost completely determined by what cycle we get. Makes it especially important for the last year.
I didn't think my first plane hit the second one, so we needed 4 things.
point blank zap.
And we have a wall glide coming up here, only a very small one.
Very clean. Now we get to route this part of the level backwards. So usually you're supposed to go around and deal with all those enemies first and get this reward of these fireworks here at the end of the level. But no, we can do them right away here. Route it with minimal backtracking.
We got a $10 donation from Glad Bags. Shouts to my favorite runners. Can't think of a better way to kick this thing off. Love you guys.
A little bit too early on when I landed there. Also, for one of the, for the first one that was past that dragon, I actually took advantage of a small zone where even if it appears to be part of the electrified area, it isn't. I am missing a 2-jump somewhere.
Near the triangle, that doesn't hurt you.
Yeah,
I wasn't quite sure about it, but
that green gem there was actually in a chest that was broken open by the projectile from that fan chest. Normally that's the end of my route, but I missed 2 jumps somewhere. Probably back here.
and
Yep, there it is.
Missed gems, the bane of any runner's existence.
In the iframes from charging that one open, you can charge the others open without taking another hit. So it's worth it as long as you will still have a Sorex.
Whoa, that guy came out of nowhere. Alright, into another flight level if we have any more donations to read out.
Oh, that was close. This is one of my favorite flight levels because it's one of the faster paced of them.
Very nice, very nice. Alright.
Somehow escaped from the whirlwind. And then the whirlwind temporarily despawned.
Game from 1998. Surprisingly how well built it is, though. Very robust. Cletus easily top 10 dragon. Probably top 5. Alright, into Misty Bog.
This is a tough one.
Runners break out in cold sweats whenever they hear the word Misty. So this level is very tight because there are enemies that want to kill you left and right, and there are only 2 fodder, of which we have just gotten 1. those tree root bush things, they charge at you, they try to eat you, and if you get hit by them, you lose 4 or 5 seconds for each one.
There is a very long animation for the first time you get hit by one of those. Oh, sparks. I am not used to those enemies having made it all the way over there. Well, now I get to do this part with no sparks.
First sparks as part of the run, let's do it. So you have to collect every single gem manually. We can't just charge through them. In fact, there's a sort of miscellaneous category called a Sparksless 120, where you have like a game shark code you put in the game. It removes sparks. Sparks can never exist, and you have to touch every single gem manually. It's gem appreciation mode.
Yes. Having to touch every single gem really forces you to appreciate the exact placement of every single one. At least enemy gems still home in.
So if you ever played this game as a kid, you know what's coming up. The end of this level is the worst of the worst. There's a small room, a small confined little room with attack frogs and those orcs are that try to stab you. And they're all in this little confined room. There are too many of them, and it's just a death trap. Luckily, we can pick up our one remaining fodder in this level, but let's see if we can do this. Oh, one hit.
Alright, well, I got rid of all the frogs, though.
Got everything, though.
481, yes.
Yes, yeah, round of applause. That is a really hard room. $500 500 gems. Done mostly sparksless, had to touch every single one of those 500 gems.
When you leave that level, the 5 gem from the enemy that was in front of it is just there probably to prevent you from immediately getting hit by the enemy upon coming out of the portal.
Now this level coming up here is very, very fun. So Treetops is revisiting that supercharging mechanic we saw earlier in Eye Caves, and it's using it to the max. We're going to see 2 tricks here that Stump's going to be attempting that are going to make use of the supercharge. One coming up pretty short, and the other all the way at the end of the level.
We have time for the donation.
We do,
Sure.
yes.
All right, we got a donation of $15 from Picanha. Played the heck out of Spyro through my childhood, and I'm so happy to see a speedrun event with a 100% run. I could never play Spyro without 100%ing it. Good luck on the rest of the run. Thank you very much. We got a $10 donation from Consort. I'm behind the stage. I'm behind the stage. Oh God, I'm behind the stage. Loving the run so far. Keep it up. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks for the donations.
I'm gonna clean up this little island here. It's kind of off in the middle of nowhere, so we're gonna take a death.
The
That's
last
about-
dragon we touched was in a convenient spot for doing another supercharge. One that is intended to require much more than that one ramp.
As a kid, I don't know about you, but I could never figure out how to get here. What you're supposed to do, what the developers intended, who knows what they intended, what it seems like they intended, is that you chase that thief there that was sort of hiding, and he was the one at the beginning of the level. You're supposed to run all the way through the level, ignoring everything you have, and follow him. He takes this arcane route throughout the level, chaining supercharges together all the way, getting to that one thing.
Including going backwards up the one that I just went over.
It's very unintuitive. How is a kid supposed to know how to do that? Fortunately, though, we can just do the one supercharge that Stump did. Actually, there are 3 other ways that you can get there, at least that I know of, that are much, much faster than the intended way, much, much easier than the intended way. It makes you wonder, is the intended way really the intended way? All right, that was that
Ooh,
jump.
I hit one of those with my supercharge.
Nice. That jump was the first of the supercharge tricks in this level. Right here is the next one. It's called Stone Knot Skip. Let's see if we can get it.
Alright, we're gonna go through the patches. See if I can hit that at the right angle. We got it.
Nice! Made it look easy.
There's something over here. That would have been a real pain to get back to. One thing I always worry about when coming back down here for the last few gems is accidentally going into the return home.
It happens.
That happened during one of my practice runs.
Oh no. Alright, into the boss level. This guy, actual boss. He throws enemies at you, you have to knock down these pylons. Actual boss, not like Shemp. Doesn't look as cool though.
And there's this little side area down here for the key.
Something we haven't mentioned is just how difficult it is to go upstairs as fast as Stump is. The stairs in this game are unforgiving. If you don't jump high enough, well, I mean, I guess if you jump slowly up them, that's fine. We're speedrunners, right? We want to go fast. If you don't jump high enough, and you charge into one of them, you bonk, and the bonk is just enough to send on those stairs, send you down an additional stair. So not only do you lose time, you lose that extra stair you were on. So getting stairs right is quite tricky, and each stair in the game is different. You have to learn them. And they're not OSHA approved.
I don't usually like to hit fodder there because Sparks is then eating and can't grab the gems.
Alright,
But
that
we're
was the
about to
first.
start the boss fight. And this one's all about cycles. Oh, barely missed that one. Oh, Metalhead took care of it.
just like in Terrace Village, the cycles in this part of the level are dependent on how fast you do part of that first half of the level.
Alright, I saw a dying enemy at the top, so I don't need to worry about an extra gem having dropped in the middle of the room.
All these gems that Stump is collecting, those were enemies. When you defeat that first part of the boss, they just die. So you have to go up and collect their gems, unfortunately, because a metalhead isn't thrown them at you. Good cycle here on the second part, and that's metalhead defeated. Just a little bit more cleanup to do here, getting the enemies that Metalhead didn't throw, because we defeated him so fast.
That is a very tough glide casualty, but charging at the end can really be helpful.
And that's it, 500 out of 500. So despite having to, just cleaning up the end of this homeworld, there are two little tricks here that we're going to do that are going to need a little bit of concentration. Sparks is on vacation there. The first of which is coming up here. There's a little ledge that we actually bypassed a little earlier, and it's supposed to be just tall enough for Spyro not to be able to get up. There are a lot of those things in this game. The developers made a ledge that was just out of Spyro's reach. And if you abuse the mechanics just right, that just out of Spyro's reach isn't actually just out of Spyro's reach. There it was. Nice. Now the second one was that gem there. That gem there is the worst gem in the entire series. In the entire Spyro franchise. It is a millimeter too close to the balloonist. So as you're charging for it, Sparks sees it. Sparks sees that one gem, he homes in on it, he goes after it, but then the balloonist says, "Oh, hi Spyro," and Sparks can't collect it. So if you're going too fast, or, in the case here, if you're charging along and don't get Spyro to collect the gem, then you don't collect the gem and you go on to the next homeworld and you're missing a 1 gem, and you find out later, and you wonder why I'm missing a 1 gem somewhere in Peacemakers, and well, that's why. So what Stump had to do there was jump onto the gem from the air, prevent Sparks from seeing it, so the balloonist didn't talk to Spyro before he collected the 1 gem. Very intricate, just for 1 gem out of 14,000. All right. Here in Dreamweavers, I think it's fair to say there are a lot of sort of gimmick mechanics that only appear once or twice here. This one we have seen before, though. We're going to defeat this enemy that's chasing around the ferry. Pretty easy. That ferry is going to kiss us and give us Super Flame. This is very tight, though.
Ooh, flame charge. With missing that whirlwind there, I do not think we are going to get second fairy scope. Not a huge deal if that doesn't happen, though. Oh, definitely not. Because even though I have to go over here now rather than later, that means I don't have to go over here later when I would get it.
The timing on that is very tight. What Stump was trying to do was carry that kiss from the first fairy all the way to this metal door that's about to hit right now. And it's a very, very tight bit of timing there. So if you lose like 1, maybe 2 seconds, you can't get it. You have to go get that second fairy.
Going around that turn at the top, you have to be careful because if you get the camera stuck outside of it and you end up inside, you crash the game.
Wait, did you just go up the supercharge?
Yes, not quite far enough though.
Oh no.
Oh, this is not good. Well, we got another chance at second fairy skill.
This level is very unforgiving. if you die, then early on in that part of the level, you lose the door we just unlocked. Later on in the level, if you die, you lose a permanent fairy flame. Good timing, good
Oh, we got
timing.
the skip there. So, alright. Let's see if we can go down the top again. Nice. That's better.
There we are. So this fairy is hidden, and it's actually a little bit tricky to get to. We had to do that supercharged turnaround. Rather than supercharging through the whole level, we have to jump up these stairs without making any mistakes, and we get this fairy, the one in the yellow dress, and she's special. She kissed us, and now the flame is no longer on a timer. So we have super flame for the rest of the level. And so we route
As
this
long
in-
as we stay alive.
There, yeah. Big if, right? So many runs die in this level because of it. But this means we can carry the supercharge throughout the level, and so we route this fairy as early as we can. We rush this fairy so we can get this infinite super flame. And so we'll be doing most of the level now backwards, ending pretty much right where we started. If there are any donations, now's a really good time to read them out.
I've never had to on-the-fly reroute the top part like that.
Spin charge.
There've been a couple times where, well, it's possible to be a little bit short on that jump over that little gap there and bonk on it, but then to have the grenade that the green enemy threw boost you onto it and save you. That's always interesting when that happens.
You know, the Norks are just minding their own business, right? I mean, it's Spyro's the one that's causing all this violence. Alright, now cleaning up the first part of the level again. We rushed to do this. We usually meant to clean it up at the beginning of the level, but because we wanted that infinite super flame so bad, we just ignore all this, so we have to come back and get it later. $500 out of 500, good job. And now, having done that good job, what we're about to do is collect 10 gems and jump off a cliff.
There is a set of whirlwinds that gets you back to the beginning of the homeworld, but it's faster to death warp and respawn there.
Nice. From behind. Again, saves frames, but... Alright, so the gimmick in this level. These adorable furry little dogs and armored turtles are cute and tiny and small until it gets dark. And when it gets dark, they become nightmares. They become huge. They become actually a challenge. And in the case of the turtles, impossible to defeat. So what we have to do is attack these fools that have the lantern. When you attack them, the lantern lights up, and the little guy, the big guys become little again, like that.
If If you don't use a direct enough line to the turtles, they fireball you pretty much point blank. They're somewhat annoying.
Trouble.
And now we have this little side path here.
There are a few rows of enemies in this game that are just satisfying to charge through. One of them we saw in Misty Bog. That's another one just there. Yeah, give him a beating. That fool deserves it.
Well, that is the only one that doesn't actually have a cycle of lighting and blowing out the lantern. That turtle looked like it was one frame away from outputting a fireball.
It was a frame-perfect trick. The skill. The talent, the timing. Now's a good time to read out any donations if there are any.
Fortunately, we don't have any donations at this time, but please bring them in. I would love to read them.
And dragon. Other. I died before grabbing the chest, and well, the chest would still be there, and I would have had to go all the way back down the side path to light the rocket again. That would not have been good.
In this homeworld, you'll see some of these enemies becoming large after being shot with a little beam. We're about to go up to that cannon that's shooting the beam right now. And this world is a little buggy. This world is a little buggy. There's a glitch called...
It is.
Yeah, there's
Hopefully the bug will not happen.
Alright, well, let's see.
Alright,
Anticlimactic. So that cannon is the worst cannon. I mean, all cannons in this game are bad. All cannons in this game are bad and they shouldn't be in the game. But that cannon is so bad it shouldn't be in the game because sometimes when you shoot that enemy, it just doesn't get small. There's no way to defeat him without shooting him. And you can shoot him as many times as you want, he'll stay big. It's a weird bug in the game. The only way to solve it is to take a death. And when you take that death, you have to climb all the way up around and get that cannon again and shoot this just for that one guy. Now, can you believe it? This is the last of the flight levels that we're going to have. Well, the last of the normal flight levels. I see one all the way at the end, but last one where we have to sort of fly through and light things up and destroy things and flame things, so forth. say goodbye to the flight levels. And on to probably one of the weirdest levels in the game. It's very strange from a game design perspective. So Lofty is this huge, expansive level. Unlike all these others, which maybe felt a little bit closed, Lofty is very open. It's also very laggy. So there are times when you're sort of between loading zones, and if you don't do it just right, it will drop one of your crucial inputs, and you'll fall to your death. Also, the gems in this level are pretty spread out because it's so big. And it's home to two very unique sorts of chests. So we've seen, so far in this game, we've seen normal chests, and metal chests, and key chests, and fan chests, and spring chests, but all of them have been pretty high-valued gems. Right? They're sort of a treat. You know, you have to take 3 flames to destroy a fan chest to get the gem out of it. So you want a nice high level, like high value gem in that. Similarly, you have to flame and then jump to get the spring chest gem. So you also want something that's worth it. For some reason, in this level, there is the only instance of the game of a red value, a 1 value spring chest, and a 1 value fan chest. So I'm actually not sure which of the one Stump is going to get first here. We'll see. It's going to be a fun guessing game. But they're unique in this entire game. And it's kind of strange that you're at this, actually the last level before Nasty, the last non-boss level before the final boss, homeworld. And you have these just paltry gems.
I feel like that probably means that this level was originally made with 500 and they had to cut it down to 400, because there are also places where you would expect there to be gems in any other level and there aren't any.
This level is especially fun to speedrun. Because it's so open, there are so many different routes you can take. Stump takes a particular one. Actually, there are a handful he can choose from depending on how he wants to route it. There are a handful that I do that are different. There are a handful that other runners do that are different. It's a very big, expansive level, and so it really lends itself to routing in interesting ways. The way that was the red fan chest, very unassuming.
That is the only fan chest in the game to only have a red gem in it.
Oh no! That turkey was out to get you.
Well, we aren't too far away from it. That's a spot where you're supposed to free 3 fairies from cages and they make a whirlwind, but you don't really need it there.
Oh, what is that? What is that? Is that a red spring chest?
Red spring chest type. Oh, now I'm gonna have to touch all these.
And just like that, the only thing left is the boss level. It's funny, Latif's dialogue, which we're skipping here, welcomes you to this homeworld. And yet he's all the way in the back here, like hidden. He's the last dragon we get in this homeworld. He's a little bit late to the party, huh? So in the MAGFest homeworld, the enemies were controlling the levels. In this one, using these fools that we're attacking, we get to control the moving parts in the homeworld. So we get to make that little cake there by attacking the fools.
Ooh, oh, I drifted out of the thing there, so I didn't get cake skip.
They can be a little annoying when they're not on the cycle you're expecting. Makes it all the better to get the that cake skip, because you know consistently where they are. So yeah, Jacques is a jack-in-the-box that throws boxes at you. Not for long, though. So all in all, he gave you 175 gems just for defeating him. By far the best boss for value that you can get in this game. So in any percent, this is sort of the cleanup level. You know, if you missed a few gems along the way you were expecting to get, you can go through this level in different ways and get some of the high value gems and clean up to get the requirement to move on to the boss. Of course, we have to collect everything, so it doesn't really affect us much, but we're just going to go through here and clean up the rest of the level.
Another reason this level is used as cleanup for any percent is that it's right before the final gem barrier. That's the last unique dragon. All the ones in Nasty's world are repeats of ones that have already been rescued, but with different dialogue.
And different voice actors.
Yes. The plot reason being they went ahead to try to deal with Nasty, but got captured again.
So does that mean it's canonical that when Nasty traps in the crystal, their voices change? I think that's what we need to take out of it. I never thought of that. Oh, we're missing 15 gems. Where are they? Oh, right here. And that's it. Going on to the final world.
And the last one actually is far enough from the balloonist that you can charge and still get it, unlike that last one in the previous world.
So that was Delbin, we freedom and artisans.
This world's the same in any percent and Vortex because the condition, well, modulo special skips. Because you need to get through you're intended to need to get through, exit each of these through the Vortex to unlock the next level. There are some very interesting skips, though, that any percent does at very high levels.
One of the easier skips does involve going in this world. It was unfortunately the enemy we defeated, the first one, like sort of like we could have seen on the screen here. His name is Reginald, and you, as he's moving his barrel up, he lifts you up over the mountain. He's really strong. Called TNT move.
Also, for some reason, the TNTs let out one extra buzz after they explode.
Never knew that.
And we have a skip coming up here. If I can time this right.
Nice.
Got it. By hitting that TNT as it's coming down at the right time, I can cause it to explode that chest. And that keeps me from needing to hit the barrel that is coming up here down to get it. That barrel. And then I would need to climb up this again. I was all ready for them to push me off into the water. Oh, that's interesting.
Sparkless. Gem appreciation mode.
Yep. Let's see. 3 for 1.
Nice.
Got it. Sometimes that barrel, when it hits the enemy on the left, will not explode the chest. And sometimes it won't explode the one on the right either. That's a bit of an annoyance when it happens, but it doesn't happen that often. .352 is the number we want to see.
Very good cove. Very good cove.
Probably the main thing that could have gone further was not having that sparksless period.
It was lucky it was nice and short, right?
Yeah.
Nice and condensed.
Yep. Time for the floating Doritos.
In the remake to this game, they kept the guns in it. I guess they're child-friendly, but the guns shoot goo. Okay, you know, cartoon violence and such. In this version, in the OG version, they shoot Doritos. Maybe they're supposed to be bullets, but they're shooting Doritos at you. Maybe we'll see that here. Those are Doritos. The routing in this level is pretty interesting. You're going to see Stump take either 1 or 2 deaths here, intentionally, and that's going to be actually faster than not taking the deaths. We're going to abuse that death warping that we've seen a few times in the run so far to place us right here on our left, at this supercharge right ahead of us. So we're going to touch Cletus here. We saw him earlier in the Peacemakers homeworld. He has a different voice actor who's going to warn us about North Commandos, but we're going to skip him. That's all right. We know about that. And we're going to use him every time we die to warp back here to get this to this supercharge, so we can go through the level faster because we're supercharging. Oh! Ooh. Okay, we got some Doritos to the face, but... Alright, this is the first of our deaths. And the second one allows us to run through all this level. We've collected all these gems. It'd be kind of slow to run back through it. And hit this strong chest here. And again, rather than run back through the level once more, we're just going to die here and go back to where Cletus was. Cletus really the best dragon in the game. And would you know it? That's the last normal level of the game. We have 2 levels left. We have the boss level, the final boss, Nasty Nork. In fact, easier than Shemp. He only takes 2 hits to beat. And then we have this other dragon portal you can see off to the right here. It's not open yet, though. We're going to have to collect all of the gems in the game, all of the dragons in the game, and all of the eggs. Well, we've done one of those so far. And that's going to open up. It's the sort of bonus loot world, and that's going to give us the remaining 20% of our 120% category.
Well, with that accidental roll, I guess this gives me a chance to do the any percent kill of this. Now, I like doing the any percent kill for this one anyway. If you're along the right side here, that thief starts running the wrong way. Alright, that's the beginning part of the level. Now we chase Nasty Nork around here. And hopefully one cycle this.
Pretty tight to do it in one cycle, but it looks like we're going to make it. That's a good place for Nasty to be in. If you don't make it in one cycle, Nasty sort of runs off and you have to chase him around again, and it actually loses like almost like half a minute. Alright, now, once we defeat Nasty, we have to, there's a high level technique that a lot of runners use called credit skip. It's because you can't skip the credits, you can't like just press triangle or something and get through them. Stump is going to go for an even higher level technique called credit skip skip, where he skips during credit skip. You know, we have to give attribution to the developers and so forth. So we're going to sit here and watch the credits.
Credit skip is very difficult to do, but without doing it, I need to sit through this before I'm deposited back in the homeworld to get the remaining 20% plus a little tiny bit.
Before maybe we open it up to donations, we should maybe talk about credit skip, because it's a really fun trick, right?
It really is.
So when Nasty Nork is in that final spot there, he's sort of standing there waiting. It's the final moment. What you have to do is get very, very precise positioning on Spyro, such that Nasty is just far enough away from you that he's going to shoot that laser beam that we saw before, but just close enough that if you take one further step, one further step, he's going to melee attack you. He's going to try to swing his club at you. And we're going to make use of getting hit by the electric beam, whatever it is, that he shoots at you, get iframes, and then proxy, jump up off the animation of him swinging his club up to then hit you down. That's going to launch us out of bounds. We're going to have to fly around, completely blind, you can't see the level at this point, and hit Nasty Nork from under the stage while you're directing yourself into a pit of lava. That's going to give you enough time to collect all 4 of the pink gems that Nasty drops. If you don't do it precise, then you either don't collect all the gems or you fall off into oblivion and you have to do it all again. So credit skip is pretty precise, but it saves 2 minutes, something like that in the run, 2.5 minutes. So it's worth it if you can go for it. I think now's a good time if there's any donations. We're just going to be chilling here, listen to the end credit music for a little bit. And if there are no donations, let's now's a good time to donate.
Still nothing yet, so keep them coming so I can read them.
It's Ryan Beveridge, most important member of the team.
What's the current time of the run?
I think world record is 1:20:30. Hour, 20 minutes, 30 seconds-ish.
I meant the time that I'm at here.
It's a good run.
It feels like one. So there's our 80th dragon. And these are the last 20 gems. So here is Nasty's loot, the remaining 20% of the game.
Oh, whoa, you can fly in this game. In this
Yes.
level, rather. I mean, you can fly in the game, of course. You can fly in the game. We've seen that before. You can fly in this level.
This level has special flying mechanics where you can fly up to the highest level that you have flown before, and the keys you get from the thieves unlock passages to higher ground so that you can then fly from them and access more of the level. So by doing that, I get to here and the ledge up there. And here's actually a place where we'll get a good view of what a fan chest projectile can do.
If you miss that thief is really annoying to get. He just sort of runs around, not randomly, he runs around away from you, and it's very tricky to judge his movement. So we just shoot him with that fan projectile.
There we go. Oh, that gave me an interesting angle on that. Hopefully I can get the quick kill here. Got it.
Nice. Those 2 planes, this one and the one we're about to see here, there are ways to get them quickly, and it saves a lot of time. A lot of chasing around if you get them quickly.
Oh, I think I sent the plane the wrong way there. So we're gonna do the backup quick kill here, where I will go through here, turn around, fly back, and the plane will be waiting for us.
If you play this casually, you have to circle round and round and round trying to chase down this plane. We just get him on that way back.
So it looks like that passage only got us to that 10 gem there, but more importantly, there's higher ground. And then we can light these last couple rockets. I lit that one, right?
Yes. Alright, we're coming up on time here. We have one final room to collect after we get these.
Alright, that's the gem count we want to see. And then most of it is in here where there are all these fireworks chests that are filled with 25 gems. And after I get all of these, time will be when the screen fades to black after I jump into the return home. 2,000, ready on time, and time! And what was my time?
How do you feel?
I feel fired up, Bob. And I'm happy for the Dragon World, of course. I certainly wouldn't want to spend the rest of my Dragon days butting heads with Nasty Nork and his weird minions.
What's a minion?
Never mind. You know what they say.
Alright, well, I guess I'll look at the VOD to see what my time was, because that felt like a good run. But, no, that was Spyro won 120%. I'm Stump. My name on Twitter and Twitch is Stump230, Stump230. So, there's that. And thanks, everyone, for watching, to Debbie and Sean for commentating, and good luck to all the rest of the runners.